Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the J.O.A.T.M.O.O podcast. I'm your humble host, Jupe. Can I get a round of applause, please? All right, that's enough. Let's get into this. Today, we're going to talk about social media influencers. We're going to talk about them today. Mr. Dennis and Miss Kristy Scott. This has been going around all over social media and the news. I've never heard of them before until now, but it seems like they're popping. So whatever, let's cover it. I've done some research on them, and let me just give my thoughts on it. Let's just be real here when it comes to this. Social media influencers Kristy Scott and Desmond Scott, they're getting a divorce, okay? There's a rumor floating around of infidelity. Once again, the public script writes itself. Another man cheated, another woman filed for divorce. But I want to slow the conversation down for a second, because relationships are not as simple as headlines make it to be. Here's the truth about it. Most people don't live in their relationships anymore. They broadcast them. Perfect smile, perfect caption, perfect family moments. That's what they're feeding you. That's what we're seeing. We're really seeing performance, not reality. I want to remind you, social media shows alignment, not agreement. It doesn't show the private disagreements. It doesn't show the miscommunication, the resentment that builds quietly, the exhaustion of trying to stay on brand. There's a saying that goes, all that glitters isn't gold. And in this case, a relationship that looks solid to millions was clearly struggling behind the scenes. Let me be clear on this. Now, cheating is wrong. No excuses. You're not going to get any kind of pushback from me about that. But saying he cheated doesn't explain how a relationship got to that point, because most relationships don't end from one bad decision. They unravel from long-term misalignment. I want to mention another thing. Relationships get tested when you're no longer seeing eye to eye. Kids enter the picture. Stress increases. One partner starts out-earning the other. Respect begins to shift. And the one most common phrase of all that gets uttered, I'm not happy. What the hell is that? But that's for another time. Happiness is not a contract term. It's a feeling, and feelings fluctuate. If happiness is the only glue that's holding relationships together, or holding the relationship together, or a relationship together, then it won't survive the pressure. When your relationship becomes content, the stakes change. Not trying to fix a problem, you're trying to protect the image. Sometimes a false image, most times a false image that you created. Can't argue without speculation. You can't struggle without judgment. You can't heal privately. Let me remind you of this also. Private relationships struggle privately. Public relationships struggle on stage, in front of a camera. And performing for an audience slowly removes intimacy, in my opinion. Relationships shift over time. Roles change. Power dynamic change. Income change. Respects get challenged. Egos get bruised. And when those shifts aren't addressed honestly, distance grows. Not overnight, but gradually. Cheating doesn't appear out of nowhere. It appears where communication has already broken down. That doesn't justify it, but explains why it happens more often than people want to admit. I don't understand why people are shocked anymore. We live in a culture that romanticizes ease, avoid accountability, treats discomfort as incompatibility, and believe love should always feel good. Let me remind you this. The true test of a relationship isn't when things are aligned. It's when things are misaligned. When you two are not seeing eye to eye. When things ain't going well. That's when the relationship is truly tested. When you disagree. When you're tired. When you feel unseen. When things get heavy. This isn't about blaming men. This isn't about blaming women. This isn't about choosing sides. It's about understanding reality. Most relationships don't fail because of one moment. They fail due to years of unresolved issues. Social media just makes the collapse louder. So in closing, I'll say this. Before we judge, attack, or idolize these relationships on social media, I want you to remember this. What looks perfect on screen may fall apart in real life. And if we don't stop selling fantasy, because people will continue to get shocked by reality, because all that glitters isn't gold. Please remember, to understand the world, first you have to step outside of your own. And lastly, life's greatest lessons aren't found at home, they're discovered on the road. Until next video, thank y'all for joining. If you're enjoying the work that I do, please hit the subscribe button, share the video, like the video, comment on the video, and I appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.